Independent retail business can mean so many things these days. A brick and mortar store, an e-commerce business, a maker's online shop, a booth at an antique mall, and more. No matter which category you're in, Kathy Cruz, a fellow retail business owner and retail educator, will teach you how to market and manage your business efficiently so you can spend time doing other things you love. Welcome to the Savvy Shopkeeper podcast.
Welcome to episode 77 of the Savvy Shopkeeper Retail Podcast. Yes, you need a bookkeeper. Here are 5 reasons why. I'm your host, Kathy Cruz. My intention for this episode is to stop tippy-toeing around this subject. For the sake of your business and the potential growth of your business, I'm here to share a little tough love about bookkeeping. If I'm going to end each episode with be savvy and boss up, I better be prepared to back that up, right? So today, I don't have any shopkeeper shout outs. I don't have any announcements. We are going to dig right in, partially because this topic is extremely important. You all know I want to help the retailer who's tired of spinning their wheels, who wants to start paying themselves, and who wants to up-level from hobby or jobby to business owner, and even more to the retailer who wants to be the retail CEO. That's who I'm talking to. If you're listening to this podcast, then most likely this is you. Either you want to make this progression or you already have, and you appreciate the content I share. So after countless conversations and posts and conversations in our groups, I can honestly say I probably have been wanting to publish this podcast episode for a long time. First, I want to be really clear about this. I am not saying that you can't be your own bookkeeper. I was my own bookkeeper for 7, maybe even 8 years. Was my bookkeeping perfect? No, but it did get the job done. Like it sure did. I accomplished it. I handled it every month. I was able to get my taxes done without a lot of stress, something we'll talk about in a minute here. But not everyone has learned the skill of bookkeeping. And really, not everyone wants to learn that skill, right? You might be shaking your head saying like, yeah, I don't want to know how to do this. I don't want to learn how to do it. And maybe that's why you've been putting it off. Shopkeepers across the country are expanding and opening up new locations by partnering with Honeycomb. Forward-thinking entrepreneurs like you that created your business for your consumers are unlocking much-needed funding by allowing your community and superfans to invest directly into your growth. To learn more about how community capital can help you open your next location while embracing your ability to market your brand and increase consumer engagement, visit honeycombcredit.com/brand. That's honeycombcredit.com/brand. So I might geek out on bookkeeping, but I get it. Not everyone enjoys it. Whether you hire a bookkeeper or learn to do it yourself is up to you, I guess is my message, part of my message here. I'm not saying everyone has to run and hire an accountant. But if you do, it's important that I mention something about this expense, which can really be viewed as an investment, honestly. Nevertheless, there's a perception that this can be a really pricey expense, but it isn't. You can hire a local bookkeeper for anywhere between $175 to $300 a month. Now, don't quote me on those prices. Prices vary depending on what state we're in, what country we're in, but I can honestly say, based on many conversations with shopkeepers, that that's probably a pretty realistic price range. Or if you don't hire a local bookkeeper, you can subscribe to an online bookkeeping service like Bench, just like the bench that you sit on, B as in boy, ENCH. Now that service starts at around $249 a month if you opt in for an annual plan. Several shopkeepers in our communities have used Bench or they use Bench now, and they've been happy with the service. I have a special offer for shopkeepers. Your first trial month is free, and then you get 30% off the next 3 months. So we'll be sure to link that offer in the show notes. But my point here is, You can choose to do the bookkeeping yourself if you know how to do it or you've learned how to do it, or you can hire it out to a local bookkeeper/accountant. I keep saying bookkeeper, accountant. Or you can subscribe to a service like Bench. So here are 5 reasons why you need a bookkeeper. The first one I have on the list is to take one thing off your plate. So let's be real. We didn't open our stores or launch our online shops so that we could spend hours bookkeeping, right? Like, that's not why we opened our stores. That's not why we make products in our studio at home and sell them at markets or online. I'm particularly speaking to you if you do it and hate it. If this isn't your zone of genius, or if you're spending way too much time on this task each month, then why not hand it off and get one thing off your plate? And it's a really important thing at that. Number 2 is to prepare or better prepare for tax season. I can't tell you how many shopkeepers I've talked to who have said that tax season is extremely stressful. Their stomachs in knots. And this usually happens around February to April because they're trying to clean up spreadsheets, or they're trying to organize and find receipts that they've lost. They're trying to answer questions or fill gaps of time that maybe they're finding don't have any financial information for their businesses. It's just a mess. And I can hear it in their voices about how much anxiety kicks in after the new year. When you work with a bookkeeper, particularly one that reconciles your information every month, or maybe even every quarter, that's what my accountant does. She reconciles every quarter. This work is done for you and you don't have to worry about it. And if you have a great bookkeeper, you get year-end reports that you can simply take to your tax accountant to get your taxes done. How incredible would that be to actually be prepared for 2021 taxes after the holiday season and you're exhausted, and the last thing that you want to do is dig through all those receipts and get that kind of work done? So reason number 3 is to apply for funding to grow. This is one reason that many shopkeepers who want to grow haven't considered. If you want to apply for funding to grow your business or to expand, to open a second location, your financial reports have to be legitimate. You have to prove that you're handling your business like a boss and that you're prepared to grow. You might have big aspirations and goals for your retail business, and that's awesome. I genuinely hope you do, but that means you have to back it up with the financial data, especially when you're dealing with financial institutions. And this could be a bank, a credit union, a crowdfunding company, so many places that you can go to get funding, the SBA, but you have to be prepared to show them your numbers. Reason number 4 is to lower your stress level. Think about the 3 things I just listed. One reason was to get things off your plate. Another one is to help you be prepared at tax time or have what you need to face a bank or financial institution confidently. So yes, having your bookkeeping done every month by someone else, or maybe it's you, but particularly by someone else, it will lower your stress level. And last but not least is to understand the state of your business. I know many of you want to understand this part of your business, but there's fear, and I get it, or sometimes they're like unknowns. And then this is another one I hear pretty often is when women say, my husband handles this for me. And I ask why. Now, I'm all for our husbands helping. My husband helps me move furniture. He helps us attend market events. I'm all for husbands helping, supporting, encouraging. But I know many of you want to figure this out for yourselves. You want to know when you look at your P&L what it means, and not look at the P&L where your eyes glaze over or your eyes start to cross. That isn't what you want. You don't want that. And I know this because of several reasons. Episode 2, when I recorded that, like literally the second episode I ever recorded, reminds me of like why I'm so passionate about this topic, but it's about paying ourselves. It's an episode that gets a ton of engagement in terms of like people reaching out to me or giving me feedback. So I know this stuff resonates with you. The other reason is probably because of episodes 56 to 59. And those were the 4 episodes that made up the Retail CEO Challenge. That series and that challenge, I know for sure struck a chord with many of you. Not only did you sign up for the challenge, but after it closed, I continued to receive requests to bring it back. So I know that whole series was really popular and it piqued your interest. The challenge was designed to help you document and track some of the important numbers in your business, understand them, I guess, a little bit more, and where you can improve with systems and processes. Just many of you found that series helpful and you wanted more. So then I created the Work Less, Profit More, and Grow coaching program. And this program addresses 3 areas where many of you want more help: time management, understanding your financials, and probably the biggest one, the most popular request, is how to grow. So I see you, I hear you, you all want more for your businesses, and I love it. But the feedback I received about the program was the lack of bookkeeping information is what kept you from signing up. So hearing that, I guess I can say, is what inspired this episode. Instead of me tiptoeing around the subject, I decided it's time to share the truth. I've had many shopkeepers tell me that they hear me share a point or a lesson over and over again, but it may not be until the X time, the 7th time, the 10th time that something clicks. Even though I've said it 7 times before that, maybe 4 different ways, it isn't until that one particular time that it actually clicks. And this is what makes me feel confident that feeling like a broken record, which I do sometimes, may not necessarily be a bad thing. Like, I'm okay repeating myself over and over again if at one point something actually finally clicks with you and it starts to make sense. So to summarize, here are the 5 reasons why you need a bookkeeper. 1, to take one thing off your plate. We all need probably multiple things off of our plates, right? 2nd is to better prepare you for tax season, so you're not scrambling and panicked in February and March. Number 3 is to help you apply for funding so that you can grow. I want you to walk into that bank or be in front of that banker feeling really confident about the financial information you bring into that meeting. Number 4 is to lower your stress level. Kind of paired with number 1 about taking something off our plate, it will help. And then number 5 is to understand the state of your business. Like, that was last, but it certainly wasn't least on my list. It's so important to understand what's happening, especially when you look at a full year of information about your business. Because this is another conversation I have time and time again. It can be about inventory management. It can be about the profit and loss statement. We all think we know what's happening in our businesses, and then we run the reports and we are enlightened, like seriously, sometimes enlightened. So a group member recently shared this in one of our groups. She said, PSA, this was her public service announcement that made me laugh. She said, when Kathy Cruz and others say you have to know your numbers, they couldn't be more right! Exclamation point. I have spent all weekend understanding and compiling my first real, and then she put in parentheses, like with real numbers, quarter profit and loss statement and balance sheet. And then in all capitals, she said, wow, I always thought I knew my numbers. We sold X amount in Q1 and I have X amount in the bank. We must be doing great. Let's just say that now that I have all accounting completely up to date, we are rethinking a lot. That's what she said. And this is a business owner who's been in business for years. And this was the first time she did it. And again, she was enlightened. And that's the power of knowing the numbers in your business. So, if you aren't doing the bookkeeping yourself, or if you haven't hired a bookkeeper, but you want to be the retail boss I so often talk about, it's time to get this done. If you want to see the show notes to this episode or find links to anything I mentioned, visit my blog at savvyshopkeeper.com/episode 77. And if you find this podcast helpful, please share it with someone who you think it might be beneficial to, or take the time to leave a rating and review. It really means a lot to me. And if you haven't heard, we're actually choosing one name every month from those that submit reviews on Apple Podcasts. And this person will get a 30-minute call with me where I help answer questions and coach you regarding your retail business. Until the next episode, be savvy and boss up.